Hello everyone, welcome back to Dakota's Political Circle, and today guys I really wanted to talk about this because this actually came up today, so it's really interesting. So Elon Musk is thinking about giving taxpayers, so every single taxpayer, basically anyone that pays taxes, all Americans $5,000 checks using DOGE savings. So this is really interesting. He's like floating the idea, and he's going to ask Trump about it, and actually have Trump's response to it after. I'll show you in a second. But basically, what Elon Musk is going to do is with the Doge like savings that we build up and everything like that. Like a portion of it, he wants to give back to Americans, which is actually possible. This is like theoretically possible, because based on American taxpayers, there's about I believe like 70 million, like around 700 million or so. I'll have to look. I have the amount on my desktop. I'll show you in a second. I can't remember the exact amount, but basically, it's very possible, and it's really interesting. So basically, he wants to give about $5,000 to every single American taxpayer. So $5,000 would be in your pocket if you're an American taxpayer, which is mostly everyone, like including myself. I'm a taxpayer, so I mean, we'd all be getting like $5,000, which would be incredible. And he's going to be calling it the DOGE dividend if it actually gets into play. So it would be a 20% of DOGE's target 2 trillion. So more or less, it would be proposed as 20% of the 2 trillion from DOGE. So that would mean like I think around 400 billion or so would be sent to like actual Americans that pay taxes. Which it says right there, return to 79 million tax-paying households, which that's basically how many are actually paying taxes as of recently. And that's 5,000 per return per household, which is very plausible. So that's really awesome to hear if it's actually going to happen. And that's basically what it's about. And I also wanted to share right here, this is more or less to show you how legitimate it is. It also talked about it there as well, but I just kind of wanted to show you. So it's legitimately possible. So to calculate the cost of like the $5,000 checks to every U.S. taxpayer, it's between 77 and 95 million people, because that's how many people pay taxes. So if you calculated between none, if you did the lowest amount, which is 77 million, you'd only need 385 billion. And then when it comes to the 95 billion, you need 475 billion. And that middle ground is probably around 400 billion. And that's basically the 20% Elon Musk was talking about. So it significantly makes a lot of sense. I know some people would be like, oh, it's never going to happen. It's too much money. Well, if you look at it right now, Doge is saving around $50 billion, which I'll actually show you. Let me pause the video and show you actually the result for that. Sorry, I had to pause the video for a second just to show you the Doge tracker. So here's the Doge tracker. So we've saved around $55 billion in money based on cutting a lot of costs and stuff like that. If you look right here, based on savings in a day, on February 12th, it was the biggest, around $5 billion in one day. As of right now, the most recent was the 14th, and that was around 42 million, but that's still a significant amount. So it is really interesting to see that. And then also it shows the leaderboards for the agencies that got cut. The U.S. Agency of International Development, the Department of Education got severely cut. The biggest one was definitely the U.S. Agency of International Development, which I don't think that's U.S. aid. I'm not sure if it is, but that's really interesting to see. Then there's vendor cuts. International Development Group Adversary got 762 million saved. Education was the biggest leaderboard saved here. It's really interesting to see. These are predictions, but that's really awesome to see. There's also 499 days remaining, but as of right now, we're 2% of our $2 trillion goal. Well, 2.75% of the $2 trillion goal. Now we have 500 days remaining, but if he does get on track to beat that, that would mean $5,000 would go to every American if Trump accepts it, which with Trump, he actually did respond, which is also really interesting to see. So here's Trump. So Trump actually announced, after Elon Musk told him, he announced that he's considering giving Americans 20% of the savings generated by Doge, following the proposal by Elon Musk, which would more or less mean, 20%, which would be $5,000 per taxpayer would go back into the pockets of Americans. And honestly, it's crazy to think of, because a lot of people think that, it's not going to happen. It'll never happen. We're not going to save $2 trillion. Well, it's already at $55 billion, and it hasn't been that long. It's been like a little bit over a month, and we already saved about $55 billion in taxpayer dollars. Like that's incredible. And if you think about it, if this actually does go through and actually does end up happening, like the $2 trillion, and we actually do get $5,000 per person, Trump's approval rating, Elon Musk's approval rating, the Republican Party's approval rating will skyrocket. Mainly because this would be a massive thing for like many Americans, like even like anti-Trumpers. Like if you get $5,000 just because of a program he brought in, then you're going to have a big shift in momentum when it comes to Trump. Even though he's already favored in like approval rating as of right now, he's going to skyrocket if this actually does end up happening. Now, it's going to take a while to get to $2 trillion. I'm going to assume maybe around like I don't know, 300 and something days, or maybe 400. It's going to take a little while to actually get to $2 trillion, unless there's like severe cuts immediately. But you got to remember though, obviously the courts have said that Elon Musk can do what he pleases, so the freeze is not in anymore, so it's more possible to actually get more cuts in. So that's also really awesome to see. And also, just to show you guys like how big Trump's and Elon Musk's and the Republican Party's approval rating could shoot up, I'll actually show you in a second. Let me show you. Alright, sorry for the pause in the video there, guys. I just wanted to show you exactly how much Trump's and Elon Musk's and possibly the Republican Party's approval could shoot up if this actually does end up happening. So the context of the proposal is right here, actually. So obviously, the DOGE dividend is obviously the $400 billion that I was talking about. So it is plausible, obviously, but it does require congressional approval, which a lot of people don't know. But since the Republicans do control Congress, it is possible, but not guaranteed. But if this does end up happening, I would assume the Republicans would approve it. But Trump's approval rating, his current baseline, obviously, as of right now, is hovering just below 50%. And the effect of the proposal, like $5,000 checks, could significantly boost Trump's standing, especially among independents and working class voters, which is exactly what I'm expecting. In 2008, which Bush's tax rebates saw a temporary approval of 5 to 10 points, which is also a good thing to show as well, because you never know. The COVID-19 stimulus checks, up popular, a larger one, $5,000 tied directly to Trump's leadership, could push his approval higher, potentially in the mid-50s to 60s. If executed smoothly, Republicans would likely solidify near 95 to 100%. Independents could swing to 55 to 60% approval. And even some Dems, which I probably could see this as well, 10 to 20% might soften opposition. So you'd see around, overall wise, maybe like a 60% approval rating altogether. I would probably say a 60 to 65% approval rating for Trump, which would be massive, especially for him, especially if it comes by the midterms. And then you got Elon Musk, which is, Elon Musk isn't very favorable as of right now. 53% of voters like disapprove of Elon Musk. So obviously, this effect, if it does end up working out, it could go to 45 to 50. I'd probably say around 50 or a little bit above that. I mean, it is his, his plan and stuff. It doesn't really matter about Elon Musk. It more matters about Donald Trump and the Republican Party. And then the Republican Party, this will be interesting because this really would help the midterms out if this does actually end up happening. In the party approval, so as of right now, it's around like sitting below the mid 40s. And if this does end up happening, you could see it jump up to the low 50s, maybe above 50, like 48 to 53. And it would definitely lock in their base a lot more and stuff like that, push more working class voters. I think it would really help a lot when it comes to the midterms. I think this could be a massive midterm shift if Trump does get this in. So that would be a massive thing. And I know the $2 trillion thing, it is getting closer to the midterms when it does end up happening. So I think this would be a huge midterm shift if Trump can get this put in. And then you show right here like Broder dynamics and stuff like that, public sentiment. But yeah, plausible. Trump would get a +5 to +15, Musk +5 to +12, and the Republican Party a +5 to +10. But if you did see a Trump +15, a Musk +12, and a Republican Party +10, you are going to have a crazy red wave when it comes to the midterms. But yeah, I think this is a big thing when it comes to this. If this does end up happening, this could massively shift in the midterms and really help out Republicans a lot in the Senate and in the House. Now, I don't think it would flip blue states, but I do think it could maybe you could try to get 40, you could try to get 58 Senate seats probably, and then you could get more of a majority in the House just to help you out, and then maybe in 2028 you can finally get to over 60 Senate seats and finally actually get stuff done. But what sucks is obviously Trump won't be president by then. But this could actually massively shift in the midterms. This could actually help Republicans out a lot. And not a lot of people think of it like that. A lot of people want, it to pay back the debt, which I agree with. I completely agree with paying back the debt and stuff like that. But I also look at it as an advantage, like getting $5,000 back to every U.S. taxpayer, putting them back in their pockets, at least to 20%. I do think that would help a lot with, approval ratings, the base, getting more and more Senate seats, House seats, and also, just giving stuff back to the U.S. taxpayer. I think that's also a good thing as well. And it's only 20%. It's not like you're giving the whole amount. If you gave the whole amount, the whole amount would be great. Every U.S. taxpayer getting the whole amount would be incredible. But that wouldn't help out with the debt. So there's obviously a good thing about DOGE, and, we also have to pay off the debt. But other things as well, just to talk about some other things. That's the main thing I kind of wanted to talk about in this video. I just want to talk about how massive this could be when it comes to, getting money back to the taxpayers, but also, actually getting a midterm boost. Like this could actually give you a massive midterm boost, which not a lot of people are talking about. But to bring some other stuff up as well, I also wanted to talk about this. So the U.S. military is ordering to plan for an 8% budget cut, which is kind of expected. Trump does want to cut back on military spending, which makes sense since Trump really wants to get out of other countries when it comes to military. He just wants to focus on our own country for the most part, because we're spending a lot of money overseas that isn't really helping Americans themselves. So I think that's a good thing. I think that's a really good thing to do, and I'm really happy he's doing it. Myself, I'm a really massive military, I'm very massive on military spending. I think military spending should be at the top of the top when it comes to military spending in the U.S. But I also consider, the U.S. is very, very in debt, and it's a good idea to cut back on military spending when it's not needed. So I think it's a good idea to do this with 8% budget cuts. And I also want to show you, what would happen if he does do a budget cut. How much will we actually save? So if it was just a one-off year, we'd save around $68 billion after the cuts. It would be around $782 billion is what our actual budget would be after that. So I think that's not too bad. It's not like you're cutting it by $100 billion or anything like that. So I think that's a good good saver right there. $68 billion is a good save for the defense budget. Then if you look at the other scenario, if he does it over 5 years, which would make sense unless he cuts it more, I think definitely over 4 years, I think it's possible it'll stay like that. So if you do a 5 years, $850 billion, that's a lot saved. So I think that's a really, really good. Well, actually, no, wait. Not 850. Hold on. It's around 290 billion. So that's a lot saved. I think that's a good idea to do, especially since we're really not helping our own country out with going outside the country and bringing a military over to countries that really don't matter to the U.S. They aren't really financial beneficial or not really helping our major allies in any way. So I think this is a big thing that should be done. So it makes a lot of sense. But just to show you right here, over the next 5 years, if this is a baseline that actually does end up happening, we'd save around $290 billion when it comes to, our defense budget, which would be a good thing. That would definitely be a good thing. And then to bring up one more thing in the video, just to show you guys. So Kash Patel, actually, he hasn't passed through the Senate yet, but he did do a motion to proceed. So that means he will be going to a Senate vote soon. I'm assuming tomorrow is when Kash Patel will be voted in by the Senate. There is a little bit of stragglers, but I am expecting the Republicans to hold. But more or less, the abstainers are like Cory Booker, Kevin Cramer, Joe Heaven, Sidney Hyde-Smith, Jerry Moran, Gary C. Peters, and Dan Sullivan. I do expect every single one of these to, other than the Dems, I expect all the Republicans here to actually, hold strong and, support Kash Patel. I think the only reason they're abstaining is because they weren't there to vote, at least the Republicans. I don't think they were there to vote. So I'm assuming that tomorrow all of them will be voted in. Kash Patel will be voted in. He'll finally be the FBI director. And remember, he'll be there for 10 years if Republicans stay in office for 10 years. Kash Patel would be there for 10 years, which would be incredible. Kash Patel deserves that, absolutely. And then we got some others as well, just to show you right here. We got Howard Lutnick. I love Howard Lutnick. I'm so happy he finally got the nomination. He won by 51-43. Two, Republicans abstained, which is kind of annoying, but at least he got through regardless. It was Jerry Moran and Dan Sullivan. But Howard Lutnick is a great businessman. I'm really happy to see that he got through, and he's finally a part of Trump's administration officially, and he'll be the Secretary of Commerce, so that's awesome to see there. And then also Kelly Loeffler, just to show you right here. She also got nominated. I'm not too big of a fan of her when it comes to her small business administrator, but I think she's good. I don't hate her or anything. So I'm really happy she went through. There was two abstainers though. It was Dan Sullivan and Jerry Moran. I'm assuming they weren't there to vote because they also didn't vote for Kash Patel. They just abstained. So I'm assuming they just weren't there. And also one Dem actually voted for her, which is kind of surprising. It was Jackie Rosen. That's actually a big surprise there. That's a big surprise to see Jackie Rosen support Kelly Loeffler. I don't think any no Dem supported Howard Lutnick, but there was a few that did abstain, like Cory Booker and Gary Peters. And to also bring up, I'll actually pause the video just to show you. All right, sorry for that pause there, guys. I've been pausing the video a lot today. I just forgot a bunch of stuff for my links. But just to show you right here, this is the second cabinet of Donald Trump, just to show you the ones that are left that still need to be confirmed. Obviously, Kash Patel is not on here because he's not a part of the cabinet, but he will be. Kash Patel will be probably confirmed tomorrow, is what I'm assuming. But just looking at all the other ones, like Lori Chavez DeMoor, DeReamer, she is the Secretary of Labor. She has not been confirmed yet. She hasn't even been to the committee yet. But I'm a big fan of her, so I really hope she gets through. Not a lot of Republicans are happy about her since she's, pro-union. But I think, when it comes to Trump and MAGA, I think they're more pro-union than the opposite when it comes to the old guard of the Republican Party. So I think that's a good move when it comes to Trump picking her. That's kind of why I supported her. But yeah, she's not been through the committee vote yet, but she is getting the committee vote today, which is good. She is, going to the hearing today. She hasn't got through the vote yet. Then when it comes to Secretary of Education, absolutely despise Linda McMahon for this position, but she is getting her confirmation on the 20th when it comes to the committee vote. So she'll be slowly put in. But honestly, I really don't care for her too much. So I really don't care if she gets through or not. But if she gets through, she gets through. And then these ones down here, these are the last two. So the trade representative, Jameson Greer, which, we obviously need, just got through recently. Got through the committee recently, 15-12. So he will soon probably be going to the Senate floor. And then the ambassador to the United Nations, Lee Stefanik, just recently got voted in the committee vote. So that's a good thing as well. She got voted in the committee, so she will soon be, put up for the Senate vote. So that'll be good as well. So there's about there's about 3 left for Trump's administration he needs to get through. And after that, all his cabinet nominees will be officially confirmed, and not a single one did not get through. And I think the closest one was Pete Hegseth. and the other two ones were, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Tulsi, but everyone's most likely going to be getting through, which is going to be really, really awesome, and I'm really happy to see Trump's administration fully pushed into actual getting stuff done. So I'm really happy to see that. But anyway, guys, that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. I wanted to bring up mainly Doge. I really wanted to bring up what Musk talked about, the $5,000 checks and stuff, but also to bring up some other stuff that I couldn't really make on a full video, just to talk with you guys about. Hopefully the video wasn't too hectic, because I had to keep cutting and cutting and cutting, because I kept forgetting to bring up stuff on the links. I had a lot of links I kind of forgot to pop up. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys did enjoy the video, though. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching. Not sure when my next video will be out exactly. I'm assuming possibly tomorrow or the next day, depending on if Kash Patel does get nominated tomorrow. I'll definitely make a video on that. And then if anything comes up in politics, I'll absolutely bring that up. My prediction videos, by the way, if you guys need to know, I believe in March, I will have my Senate prediction, and then I'll have my governor's prediction. I do those every 2 months, at least until 2026 happens, and then I'll do them every month. And then when it comes to presidential predictions, I believe I did one this month, and I won't be doing one until possibly maybe April or May. I won't do them every month. I might do them every other month, or at least every other 2 months. I'm not sure how I want to do those yet, since the presidential election is a while away. I'll think about doing them every other month, though, just to make stuff more fun to watch and stuff like that, because I know you guys really like the prediction videos, because they're a lot of fun. And then also to bring up my last video I actually did a video on ranking 2028 hopefuls when it comes to the presidential election. I think that was my last video. If it wasn't, then I'll put it on the screen anyway, just so you guys can watch that. That was a really good video to make. I know someone in the comments actually mentioned that I should have included their policies and stuff like that in the video. The main reason I didn't was because the video was going to be even longer than it was. But I might actually make a video in the future, like an in-depth video on 2028 hopefuls for presidency, to talk about their policies, or at least their stances that we currently know, and where I'd rank them and stuff like that based on all of that. Like my top 10 choices or something like that specifically. Maybe like in a spreadsheet, or like a document format, possibly, just to show you my top 10 or something like that, and also show you how I feel about their policies and stuff like that. And you'd also probably see my more center side than my right wing side, because I do support some center issues as well, and left wing issues instead of right wing issues. But I'm also big on right wing stuff as well. But anyway, guys, don't want to make this video too long. I just want to talk about that real quick, because someone mentioned in the comment. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.